Alfa Romeo 4C Gr.3 Racecar in VR. Hello everybody and welcome to OpenFet Gaming. I am the OpenFet. Today we are driving an Alfa Romeo 4C Gr.3 Racecar. We're driving it in a race called the Race of Turbo Sportscars, and we're driving it at the Watkins Glen Long Course. We're doing 5 laps. We start 16th of 16 cars, and we started with a rolling start. Now these cars are fast. I'd like to get by these guys right here now, but this little red car pulls a great move and blocks out the OpenFet. But that's not going to stop the OpenFet because you're going to do a little bit more than that as we rip by him on this little S curve here. Now these 5 laps are going to take a little bit of time to do. So, well, in the meantime, during the first lap, what I always try to preach is to kind of refamiliarize yourself with the track if you're not sure, and see how the competition is going to drive. Now, I've driven this track quite a bit, and it's fast becoming one of my favorite tracks. I'm really starting to like this. There's some really good spots for overtaking other cars, and there's some spots where you have to stick behind the car and just have a little bit of patience, wait until he moves and then zip by him just like that. Now we got to race up to the next guy and do the same thing and keep doing that until all the cars that we are racing against are behind us. Now the only problem that the OpenFet has, and he has it in almost every race, is he forgets how many cars he passes. He keeps track of the laps, but he forgets the cars he passed. So with that thought in mind, all we can do is just race the 5 laps as fast as we can, because we don't know what position we're in, and we just go as fast as we can until the race is over, which is just as enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. I'm not really too worried about how many cars I pass as long as I keep passing them. And that way we keep getting ahead. Now these guys, they're trying to block you out. They didn't want to move over, so no problem. We'll move over for them as we're starting our second lap. Now this part of the track right here, starting from right here, I really like this part because it just, you can hammer down, you can flow around this corner just nice and easy as pie up the hill. You can pass this guy on the outside if you got the right speed going and you get him at the right time, and then you can cut the next guy on the inside here if I would have been close enough. I wasn't quite close enough, so that's okay. We'll get him a little bit later. But one thing that I've learned over the past, well, year and a half that I've been driving, I guess 2 years, in the beginning I always wanted to win the race in the very first lap. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. I had to be in the front right at the beginning. But I found I ran off the track a lot, I ran into other cars, and it wasn't quite as enjoyable. So now I take my attack and I spread it out over however many laps that we have to run. In this case 5. And like I said, we take the first lap, refamiliarize yourself with the track, and see how the competition is going to drive. Then drive accordingly. Stick with the main pack. Try to move up a little bit, but you don't have to worry too much because there's 5 laps. Then in the second lap, you can start going a little bit faster, and like in the 3rd and 4th, and then I always try to get near the front of the pack by the last lap, and then that way you can not coast, but if you have enough of a buffer zone between you and the competition behind you, you can take the corners a little bit slower and not worry so much about spinning out or driving off the track like I used to do when I first started driving. Now another thing I always keep reminding myself, I keep reminding everybody seems to think that I remind them, but it's for me, is to keep an eye on that rear view mirror. Now in this case we have a dash cam rear view mirror, which I think is really cool. I mean, that's kind of neat. But keep an eye out on your rear view mirror, and I keep mentioning it for myself. And as it is, it works. If you keep saying it, you will remember it a little bit better. So I can keep an eye on the cars that I just passed, make sure that they don't come back to haunt me down the track somewhere. Now we're into our 3rd lap already, and we gotta be near the front of the pack, you would think. So we got these two guys in front. Now they're going to block me out, and that's okay because there's not enough length here in this straight section to pass them anyhow. So we're going to just sit behind them and let them battle each other, and then when the one gets tired and drops off and the other one takes off, then we'll battle the one that loses, which in this case happens to be the red car. But the little red racer is us, not him. We're the ones that are going to win this race because that's what the Opel likes. So as we're coming up behind this red Honda, we have the room there, but it was a little tight, so I didn't want to go over there because sometimes when you squeeze through a tight spot like that, they will come over and slam into the side of your car, and I didn't want to do that. So we'll just wait over here until he moves over, and if he moves over enough, just like that, we squeeze by him. We get up behind this guy. This guy's a little faster. Now, like I was mentioned, the cars, they slow down quite a bit in the corner, so that's usually a good spot to pass him. If you're in a race and all the cars are going about the same speed, including you, then look for the corners because that's where they slow down too much. Now, in front of this here, in front of this car, there I can see two more. So obviously, at best, we're in fourth place with 3 cars ahead of us. But we're going to get by this guy here, going into our 4th lap, and catch up to these guys, because I do believe that these are probably the lead cars. And we've passed quite a few, and we've been doing it for just over 3 laps. So we had to pass 15. So you subtract the 2, that means 13, minus us, that means that we passed 12 cars, and that seems feasible. So I'm thinking that these 2 cars are the lead cars. So being in the 3rd lap, it's not a huge problem yet. We're going to wait and we're going to drive with them for a little bit, as long as they keep going. Now, if they go abnormally slow, then I would pass them. I wouldn't sit behind them just for the sake of sitting behind them. No, I sit behind them for the sake of them being a pace car for me and setting the pace of the race. So doing that, you're okay in the 3rd and 4th lap, but when you're in the last lap, somewhere in the last lap, sooner or later, you're going to have to pass them and take over. Now, as you can tell, these guys are going pretty fast, and when they're going that fast, it's really hard to pass them, because even when there's room to pass, and you look at here, you come around the corner, there's a little bit more room, and they zip away again on them. And you can't seem to get close enough so that you can get by them. So you keep that in mind. You got to be right up to them when you go around the corner to have even a tiny little chance of passing them. But we're still battling with them, we're still right with them, and they keep slowing. And that's the other thing, they slow down around the corner, and if you can't get around them, they end up slowing you down, and then they zip away, and they make the gap a little bit bigger. So it's a tough way to drive, but we got a straight section coming up here by the grandstand, and as you know, I like to pass there because that's where the room is, but it's not as easy as that. See, these guys are going pretty good, so sometimes, well, this time it was a little bit easier than normal, but normally they just zip away on the straights. So as we're heading into our 5th lap, we're coming to my favorite section of the track, and now that there's nobody ahead of us, we can just use the full width of the track and just put the pedal down and just rip through these corners. And it's just a little bit too high there. It's just an awesome flowing track. And this little car is so nice to drive, I tell you. If you ever have a chance to drive in Gran Turismo with VR, give it a shot, because I'm sure you're going to love it. Ever since I got my headset, I've never looked back. I don't drive any other way than VR because it's the most exciting. And it's like you're almost there. You know, I thought it'd be really tough because I used to check out cockpit view and I didn't like it. But VR is nothing like cockpit view. It's much better, I believe. Anyhow, back to the race. We're about halfway through the lap and it is evaporating under our tires very quickly. And nobody's catching up. I've been keeping an eye on my rearview mirror like I try to preach to myself, and I don't see anybody, and I don't see anybody in front of us, so we must be the lead car. Well, I tell you, this race is absolutely fantastic. I love this track. I love this little car. If you ever have a chance to drive the Alfa Romeo, do it. I wish I would have had the opportunity in real life, but never got that. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the race and hope to see you back at OpenFed Gaming again real soon. Until then, you've been racing in an Alfa Romeo, little red racer, with the OpenFed.